This is Barnstable Today for Thursday, December 4th. Welcome aboard. I'm Mark Mumford.
Even old docks from the 1950s need to get up to date with their permitting. That's our top story. Thanks for joining us. I'm Kevin Friel.
During their latest town hall session, the Conservation Commission heard the details of such a dock on Middle Pond in Marston's Mills.
Flume Avenue property owner Jane Smith filled in some of the dock's history for the commission.
In the early 50s, my dad built a dock. It was a simple platform for us to sit on. It had cement blocks that held it up. I have no idea if he got a permit to do so, and I have looked through the old papers in his files to try and find one. Over the years, that dock has always stayed in the same place, and it was the same size, but went through some changes. And I am enclosing pictures so that you can see the changes.
Conservation Commission Chair Dennis Houle told the property owner in question that she has plenty of company when it comes to old docks that need updated permits.
Built in the early 50s.
Right.
There was a period in the late 80s, around 1988, 89, 1990, when a lot of these piers that had been in place for a long time had to go through the permitting process. It was a very easy application process. Apparently,
We didn't.
you didn't do that.
My dad died in 1988, and so I really didn't know anything about that kind of thing. And I apologize for that, and I'm negligent in that. And I do want to rectify that if we can.
You got plenty of historical documentation here to show that the dock had been long existing.
Long existing.
And that will help you with getting it permitted now by applying to Natural Heritage and to show that it's been there for a long time. And as a result, you could, in your application, say that, that it has had, you could probably tell them that it's had no negative impacts or something like that. So that would be an advantage to you. You can clearly document that it's not a new pier that you're putting in.
Right. In 2003, January, is that when we began to resurrect the dock there. So that January, our builder, we told him we needed to repair the dock and get it ready, and so he did. Now, I realized he told me, I said, what about, shouldn't we get a permit for this? And he told me, Jane, this is your property, and this dock has been here forever and ever. All I'm doing is just putting in new boards to replace the rotten ones. I'm using, he used concrete discs here, dry well discs. All the work was done by hand. There was no machines at all down there. He did bring down a generator so that he could have his power saw going, because there's no electricity down the property.
He made one mistake. He didn't
Yes,
check to see if any permits were necessary.
And so I went on his advice, not on my own gut feeling. So
We understand that, and
I'm
there are
negligent
many
in that.
property owners on the Indian Lakes who have these docks and are now finding out that they need to be permitted or didn't come in during the period when it should have been done. So we understand that, and given the fact that, as I said, you can document it, it will make your permitting experience with Natural Heritage easier than
How
it
do I go
otherwise
about
would
that,
be.
sir? I can.
What we would do is, under these circumstances, if the commission were willing, they would perhaps allow the dock to be kept in place while you go through the filing procedure. And normally we give people up to 60 days to file a notice of intent in order to be able to get this permitting process moving forward. And you can work that out with staff.
Rob Gatewood of the Conservation Commission added his perspective on the process ahead.
I don't know to what extent Darcy's covered this with the applicant. Although the commission stands ready to let your pier remain while you go through permitting, I just want to point out that the permitting process, even for an old, long-established pier, isn't easy. Okay, so you'll have to retain a surveyor to do a plan.
Okay.
And you'll have to obtain consultant assistance on the application. It's a difficult application. And then once through conservation, there's another level of permitting at the state. They own the pond bottom, and so this is called Chapter 91 licensing. And so your plans will be packaged up and shipped off to them. It's a passive process, but there'll be 2 layers of permitting, and in the end, you'll have recordable instruments at the Registry of Deeds, then verifying your permits for that pier on that property.
That would be
If you would like to see the entire Conservation Commission hearing or any of the other meetings here in town, you can find them in the on-demand video section at the town's website, town.barnstable.ma.us.
Meanwhile, yesterday in his town council meeting preview, Assistant Town Manager Tom Lynch outlined a busy agenda for this evening's town council meeting.
However, also at this evening's session, there will be a sense of the changing of the guard as a town council leadership change is
what direction it will go in through the next year and who the officers will be of the council.
You're right. They've just completed their strategic planning process. They'll be looking at, to adopt the budget policy. And on Thursday night, they will be nominating the new council president and council vice president. And then at the meeting on December 18th, to check on that, December 18th, they'll actually, vote on them. So this will be Janet Jocum's last official meeting, I believe, and, she's had a lot of accomplishments as the council has worked on a lot of different issues, so we'll usher out one era and bring in another.
Great, Tom. Well, thanks for coming on the show today.
Thank you very much, Ken.
At this week's Town Hall press conference, Council President Janet Jocum answered questions from Quantum Broadcasting's Matt Pitta about her thoughts.
Gee, that's catching me off guard. I usually don't do personal stuff during the press conference.
Well, not part of it in terms of...
yeah, but it's been an interesting 2 years, and I've really enjoyed it. It's a challenging group. Of course, it was full of a little bit more stress than most presidents, but I think that we got through all of that.
I'll keep you on the spot. What would be some of your accomplishments, you think, as you led the council in the last couple of times?
Well, I mean, getting this group to work together, doing our strategic plan, we did a lot of work with appointments. I haven't really had a chance to think about all of that. It's been a lot of work.
Any thoughts at this point who you think is going to come forward?
Yeah, but I'm not going to say
Keep that to
anything
yourself,
yet.
right? Okay.
I mean, I know who I'm going to vote for.
That's what I should.
Right, I know. I mean, I'll leave the table and think of all the things that have happened, but the consolidation of the schools, the budget work that we've done, there's been a lot of work. I mean, I've dedicated a lot of myself and time into this position. And I've enjoyed it, and I am looking forward to the free time, but, well, not free time. I never have free time. But with a little melancholy. I mean, I've enjoyed it, and I'll miss it. But I'm also looking forward to being able to participate in debates again. That's one thing that a president can't do. And I've had to bite my tongue a lot lately.
The town council meeting dominates the schedule this evening, getting underway in the hearing room at 7. The slate is clear for Friday.
In weather, mostly cloudy tonight with a chance of some showers with lows down into the mid-30s. Then tomorrow, mostly sunny skies, northwest winds at 10 to 15, and highs in the upper 40s.
Congratulations to a group of Hyannis and Centerville, Osterville, Marston's Mills firefighters for their recognition at Faneuil Hall for meritorious service.
They were part of the ceremonies yesterday with Governor Deval Patrick overseeing the 19th Annual State Firefighters Awards.
The honorees are from the Hyannis Fire Department, Lieutenant Thomas Kenny, Lieutenant Richard Knowlton, Lieutenant William Rex, and firefighter Barry Pina.
Also from Hyannis, firefighter Richard Randall, firefighter Gregory Dardia, firefighter Brian Lawrence, firefighter Michael Medeiros, firefighter John Daly, and firefighter Richard Alger.
And from the Centerville, Osterville, Marston's Mills Fire Department, Master Mechanic David Scott. The firefighters from here in town were honored for rescuing a worker at a laundry whose arm was trapped in a machine that does folding. That incident happened back in the middle of June. Thanks for joining us today. I'm Kevin Friel.
We'll meet you right back here tomorrow. I'm Mark Mumford.